Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you could join me today along with Paul. We're doing something a little bit different today, which is called Rocky Point, which used to be an amusement park here in Warwick, Rhode Island. It is no longer that. It's been gutted since 1994/1995, and it is just a regular park now, but you can still find some of the old structures from what used to be one of the biggest theme parks in Rhode Island. As we have walked down through the entrance, you can see that this used to be the main entrance to the park, and Paul was saying like right up there was the log flume, although it looks like a rock now. Well, I mean, that rock was probably always there. Oh yeah, Paul just spotted one of the old lights in the tree too. That's pretty cool. Paul's like, I haven't been here since I was a child. And he walks in, he's like, I remember exactly where everything is. Oh yeah, look at that.
This was the only thing I've ever rode at the park when I was like an infant.
So what was it? Was it like just a little train?
Yeah, it's like the one at Canopy. Like
oh, right. So it like went in through the woods probably, like.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looks like there used to be a path that went that way and around the rock.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you can see all the old railings and stuff here. I like how this is all that survived of it.
Right, it's still here.
That's so crazy. It's crazy to me to think that they tore this park down, but like not all of it, and then opened it up to the public.
For years, it was all just abandoned buildings and everything. And
that would have been so cool to see.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
See, if I didn't know this was an amusement park, I would just be like, oh, there was a train here at some point.
Man, I
can't walk on that. I'm so glad that I brought Paul with me because he knows where everything is, and I would have just been wandering around up and down the street, not going off and finding any of this. If you lived in the neighborhood here, you could just come down to the ocean, which is way down there. But like, imagine living in the neighborhood and just walking into the park every day.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right? And honestly, a theme park right on the ocean is like prime real estate. It's actually pretty beautiful here. Look at this. Oh yeah, you're right. You can see the bridge all the way out there. I hope the viewers can see it too, but it is right there. Okay, so Paul is saying this is where the pool was. Yeah, you can kind of see the outskirts of it too, because it's a big square that's been filled in and there's still the cement from it around it. So this must have been the cement. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That is definitely, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but that's lost its color and it used to be green. They were stepping in the water. Oh, did you bring your swim trunks? This is so crazy. Okay, so
there's the sky ride right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could see the sky ride. We can go take a closer look, but you can see it from here, right here, because they didn't take that part down.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy that they let pieces of it up. I wish they did this with more theme parks instead of turning it into like apartment buildings.
I know. So
there is a sign here that talks about the saltwater pool. So it's saying here the original pool was built in the early 1930s, but was destroyed by the hurricane of 1938. So they put an Olympic-sized one in its place. That's crazy. We're trying to figure out where we are in relation to this because there's like a road here, and there's a coaster here, and we're trying to figure out where that was. So we're taking a guess. And if you're like a Rocky Point fan, you can tell us if we're right or we're wrong. But, so we're looking at this, and we think we're facing it the right way, that this is the way that the picture is, which means that would be the road, and the road came down like this and then stopped, and then over there would be the coaster, because that kind of looks correct to me just by comparing these two pictures. So that's my guess. But if you are a Rocky Point person, like, feel free to leave a comment in below, because clearly we don't know. We're trying to figure it out by looking at the picture, and we were not here like the 1930s, and it's at least like the 1930s or the 1950s because everybody's dressed up in like full suits to go to the pool. But right here is the infamous arch structure that is still here from when the park used to be here. And Paul was saying they used to have like lights and stuff attached to it, which is really cool. Also, I'm getting a really cool shot right now with the clouds in the background against the arch. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so they have a little sign about the arch, and it was actually featured in the New York World Fair, which we've talked about here on the vlog because we all know that I'm obsessed with it, and Canopy Lake has some pieces from that as well. It was like here for a year and just had all this crazy tech that all looked like it belonged in Epcot. They basically took it from Chicago and moved it here in 3 pieces. And it used to have like an electronic board on it that would tell like the weather forecast or other news, which I don't think was installed here when it was in Rhode Island, but when it was initially created, it did. It was mostly used as a waypoint for people to find each other, because I know that people watching this that are younger than I am are probably like, well, use your cell phone. Well, let me tell you about the days when we just had to use clocks and like locations. It's pretty huge, and we're trying to figure out how it was transported because it said it came in 3 pieces. And I was like, I see 4, but I think Paul's right that this part was probably added later, and the arch was originally like 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. That's my guess. If you're a Rocky Point expert, you can always let us know below. All right, so we are stopping by the Skyliner. Before we actually walk up to it, I just want to share this picture they have down here. And they got a Ferris wheel. They had the tilt-a-whirl, not the tilt-a-whirl, that is the other thing, that's zero gravity. Looks like there was some kind of coaster. That background here, you can see some dark rides in the midway. There it is. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I would not touch that wiring, it's so rusted over. I like that they still have the ramp with the original railings here. This is pretty steep. It's actually easier to go up the hill without going on this part. As you know from ski lifts and any sky ride at an amusement park, you would just come down this way or vice versa, load you up and take you up that way. Oh yeah, look at the bottom. That is, it's not gonna stay here very long. It's gonna go down one of these days. Yeah, getting some shots of the gears up here. Woo! Look at that. This is just us documenting here. All this space behind me, it used to be part of the amusement park. Now it's just a park where people are here with their dogs or relaxing. But I'm sure they do some sort of events here sometimes, like music or something. Yeah. All right, so we walked over to this other signpost, and while this may look like trees behind us, this would have been the ride that Paul and I would have spent on like every day, like the mine, because it was the Castle of Terrors, and then renamed later into the House of Horrors. So of course this is a dark ride. It's gonna be in the lieu of like goofy haunted house that you're gonna go through. So this is what it looks like. And then I think this is what they kind of refurbished it into. But what is really cool about this and what was right here is that not only was it one of the earlier dark rides, but it reopened again in 1998 when Rocky Point was turned into Halloween Land, which I forgot existed. So when I was like a teenager, like early teenager, even probably pre-teens, I went to Spooky World when it was located in Berlin. And so at their time, there was not like a lot of like haunts or haunted theme parks. And I remember hearing about the whole Halloween Land, and I was like, I gotta go there sometime. I didn't realize it was here, so I feel like I can complete this part of my haunt side of my life, even if it's not here anymore. I'm at least walking on the steps where it used to be, and that makes me happy. Share with the viewers what you just shared with me.
Well, 1998, that was the first year I ever rode the Mine of Lost Souls.
See? It's just meant to be. That's craziness. I feel like 1998 might be Paul's lucky year. Or unlucky, because he did run off that ride crying. So this next structure behind us is the circle swing, or at least the base of it anyway. As pictured here, you can see the inside of the structure, and it would just have all the swings coming off the end. And this picture, by the way, is between like 1908 and 1920. If you really want to see what theme parks looked like well over a century ago. I mean, it was just kind of really brilliant, and how this was considered like a thrill ride back in the day, which is so crazy to think about. I like how everybody is like super dressed up though, because that's just how it was back in the day. But like this is like the most exciting thing you can do. The history of this park is really, really, really cool. And apparently they changed it into 2 other rides after it was retired in the mid 60s. I can't believe it's still here. And you can't see this on the camera, but there's like 1,000 gnats flying in front of my face. So that's part of the experience too. According to this sign, we are standing inside of the Rocky Point baseball field, which it took us a hot second, but we figured out that we're standing in it, going out that way, according to the picture right here, which we could tell by the hill coming up that way like that. I am gonna point out how beautiful it is right now, because you got like the clouds, there's some birds in the sky, and the ocean up against it like that. Listen guys, Rhode Island's pretty beautiful. Wow, this is a gorgeous view. Beautiful. As you all know, I love being by the ocean. If I'm not in the theme park, I want to be by the beach. There's a seagull out there sitting on the rock. That's the noise it makes, right? Okay, so now we are standing at the Shore Dinner Hall, which Paul was on a mission to find. And as you can see, it was built right here on the water. And I guess you could take your boats up to it. This is a more recent photo. No, recent, I say. But it's in color, so there's that. So we're standing where the dinner hall used to be, and then right behind us, that's where it was on the water. I'm taking a video of the pier because it's beautiful. Time to climb this hill. Here we go. Up the hill, down the hill, around the hill. There he goes. All right, I went to the gym, but let's run up this hill anyway. Don't fall, it's slippery. The first presidential phone call between Rutherford Hayes, who was at Rocky Point, and Alexander Bell in Providence. Right here, guys, standing on the telephone. History, we're standing on history. I'm standing on you, history. We're actually walking up into a haunted house right now, and there's ghosts. They're gonna come out, and they're gonna like a boo! We're coming on up to this. It was obviously part of something. Was it part of the haunted house?
Nah, I think this was like having to do with like water or something.
Whoa. I mean, I feel like I'm in a haunted house. What is happening? I feel like I'm in the back rooms right now. Yeah, so I don't know what this used to be, this structure. It's got a lot of graffitis and tags on it though, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I do feel like we're in the apocalypse right now. That's kind of like the vibe it's got. Da-da-da-da, it's like urban exploring. Ryan Pagella, theme parks and urban exploring.
It's the end of the world.
It is the end of the world. For my shoes, maybe. All right, we are walking into the woods now because we're following along with the sky ride. And I told Paul, I'm like, let's give it a try and hope that we don't get eaten alive because it is getting a little buggy out. But supposedly we can see like where the rocks were that allegedly kids were jumping off of and going to explore the cave. So we're gonna go up there and try and get a view. I'm so scared. Oh God, oh no, something's in the woods. Ah, it's an entity. Hello, hello, hello.
Echo.
Wait, what is that? What is that? Okay, wait, so we see the motor up there. Paul thinks we gotta go up that way, so I guess we're in rock climbing right now, so let's hope I don't drop the camera. Look at that, some of the sky ride, it's not a rope, whatever it's called, the wire fell off and it's just sitting over here. All right, so we made it to the top and there was a girl up here who let us know that there was a path we could have just taken after all that climbing, but you know, it was worth the climb. It was part of the adventure. We are at the top of the sky ride here. This is pretty cool. Look at that. He's gonna climb up on it right now. How's the view?
A lot of trees.
A lot of trees. The trees are huge. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, that's awesome. We get excited to find old lights from theme parks that are no longer here anymore. Like, that's something that gets us excited. Oh God! Yeah, right, it comes up in the woods. So kids were jumping off up here. I don't know if like they were supposed to or if they were just jumping off so they could go explore the cave that we just walked through. Also, I can imagine kids doing that. Like I would have done that thing back in the day because like, this is before theme parks had like any kind of safety in them. And you just like jump out of rides. I found it. It's the path. Wait, is it though? I think that's the path. I think this is a drop off. Let's not go that way. I did not find the path. I almost made us just walk off a cliff. Classic Ryan. There's a deer out there.
Oh.
There it goes. There it goes.
You gonna go across?
Wow. Yep, it's got to cross maybe. It's okay, you can go. You can go. There you go. Okay. Okay everybody, I am back home with Lyra. I was going to close out in front of the gates of Rocky Point, but you already saw them on the way in, so I decided to head home to my pup. Okay, well secretly I went to Free Play Arcade in Providence first, which was a great time and I highly recommend it if you haven't been there. But then I came home to Lyra. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and if you would like, you can check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch. And there's a Discord server for this channel in the description below. And if you'd like to support me, check out my Patreon. Any way you want to tip me or donate to me is a huge help so I can continue bringing you more adventures like this one. Alright everybody, you know the drill. Every day's an adventure, and live your best life.